He went missing without a trace. But weeks later, his camera was found. And inside that camera, something was captured, something no one was supposed to see. This is the story of a young man, a camera, and a mystery that has never been explained. A story that begins with a simple hike and ends with a chilling question. What was really out there with him? In the summer of 2017, 23-year-old Daniel Harper decided to take a solo trip into the Alaskan wilderness. Daniel wasn't reckless. He was a careful, thoughtful young man. He loved photography, and more than anything, he loved capturing untouched places. He told his friends and family that he planned to hike along the Kasugi Ridge Trail, a stretch of land that runs for more than 30 miles, offering some of the most breathtaking but also dangerous views in the entire state. The trail is wild, unpredictable, and for the unprepared, it can be fatal. Daniel was not a complete amateur. He had camping gear, food supplies, and most importantly, his camera, a Canon DSLR with a sturdy strap, one that he took everywhere. His camera wasn't just equipment. It was his way of seeing the world, his diary. On the morning of July 14th, Daniel left a small lodge in Talkeetna. The sky was overcast, heavy with clouds, but he didn't seem worried. The last photo anyone took him alive, snapped by another hiker, shows him smiling, backpack strapped tight, camera hanging from his neck, and eyes filled with quiet excitement. He looked ready for an adventure, but no one would ever see Daniel again. For 3 days, there was no word from him. His parents assumed he was just out of range. Cell service was almost non-existent in that area. But on the 4th day, when he failed to return to his lodge, alarm bells started ringing. The authorities were called, and soon a search team was deployed. Dozens of volunteers, state troopers, and even helicopters were sent out to comb the Kasugi Ridge. They found his campsite. His tent was still there. Inside, there was half-eaten food, a sleeping bag unrolled, and a small notebook with neat handwriting. The last entry read, "Saw something strange last night. Thought it was another hiker, but they didn't have a light, just standing between the trees, watching." That was the final line Daniel ever wrote. For weeks, the search continued. Nothing. No signs of a struggle. No tracks leading away. No blood. No torn clothing. It was as if Daniel had simply stepped out his tent and disappeared into thin air. But then, on the 21st day of the search, about 2 miles from his last known campsite, a volunteer stumbled across something lying in the mud near a riverbank. It was Daniel's camera. The strap was torn, frayed at the edges, as if ripped violently. The camera body was scratched, dented, but still intact. Miraculously, the memory card inside was dry, untouched. And when investigators plugged it into their computer, they realized Daniel had been filming up until the very last night he was alive. The first few photos on Daniel's camera were exactly what you'd expect. Breathtaking landscapes, wide shots of snowy peaks, green valleys, streams of clear water glistening in the sun. He had a good eye. His photos were almost professional. There were selfies too. Daniel smiling in front of the trail sign. Daniel with his tent set up, holding a cup of instant coffee. Everything seemed normal, ordinary. But then things changed. The next set of photos felt different. They were darker, less composed. Blurry shots taken at night. A faint silhouette between trees. Strange reflections of light where there shouldn't have been any. Investigators at first assumed it was just camera shake or Daniel experimenting. But as they clicked deeper into the memory card, the images grew more unsettling. One photo, taken around midnight, shows a tall shadow standing just beyond a campfire glow. It's not Daniel. He's in the frame, blurred, holding the camera at arm's length. Behind him, in the trees, something is there. It had no clear face, just a long, distorted shape, almost human, but not. The final series of images were worse. Rapid, frantic shots. Daniel running, pointing the camera backward as if trying to capture what was following him. Branches blurred, dirt flying up, streaks of light and panic in every frame. And then silence. The very last photo on the card was a black frame, except in the bottom corner, there was a pale hand, not Daniel's. It was too long, the fingers unnaturally thin, reaching toward the lens. That was the last record of Daniel Harper. But there was more. Daniel hadn't just taken photos. He had recorded videos. The first few clips were harmless. Him talking to the camera, describing the hike, laughing at how tired he was. "If I don't make it back," he joked in one video, "tell my mom I ate all the granola bars." But the last video was different. It began with heavy breathing, the camera shaking violently as Daniel whispered into the lens. "It's still out there. I don't know what it is, but it's watching me." The screen turned, revealing darkness between trees. There was movement, something shifting in the shadows, just beyond the range of the flashlight. A low sound echoed, something between a whistle and a growl. Daniel's voice trembled. "It doesn't walk like a person. I think it knows I'm recording." The video ended abruptly. The lens pointed at the ground as if the camera had been dropped. The last frame showed Boots, Daniels, half stepping out of view, and behind him, two glowing shapes, eyes, watching. The footage was analyzed by experts, photographers, wildlife specialists, even digital forensic teams. Some said it was just light tricks, pareidolia, or Daniel's own fear manifesting in blurry images. But others weren't so sure. The hand in the last photo did not match human proportions. The movement in the video didn't resemble any known animal. And the sound, that low whistle growl, was unlike anything native to Alaska. Authorities declared Daniel missing, presumed dead. His family held a small memorial. His camera, however, remained locked in an evidence room. To this day, the videos have never been released publicly. Only descriptions, whispered accounts from those who saw them. Some believe Daniel encountered a bear or got lost and hallucinated from exhaustion. Others insist it was something else, something that lives deep in the forest, something not meant to be seen. And then there's the detail no one could explain. The final timestamp on the memory card. It showed the video had been taken at 2:37 a.m. on July 18th. 3 full days after investigators believed Daniel had already gone missing. So the question remains. If Daniel disappeared on the night of July 15th, who was holding the camera on the 18th? He went missing, his camera was found, but the answers were never discovered. If you want more stories like this, subscribe, and join me in uncovering the world's darkest mysteries. Until next time, stay in the dark.